Angel has helped Trey a ton, Angel being his coach. But, you know, I texted him the same day on his fight, and he got back to me and said, Al, thank you very much. I'm ready. And so it's, there's this connection, you know, and even Jared, like after he beat Benson, I said, hey, call me when you get a chance. And he called me and I said, okay, I know, you know, what we got coming up. It's going to be at Asanya. And I said, you know, I've already got thoughts in mind of what I want to do. And this was the night of the fight, you know, after he won. So it's really good because it's not like I'm just this guy that they come to and it's just going through the motions. Yeah. It's really about making the connection and making sure that I do my job and make a difference, because that's why I think I'm here. And
physical, you know, success does have a lot of, you know, correlation with the mental success. And so when I think of Holly Holm, I think of just a ball of nerves. So, you know, when she's in her corner getting ready for the fight, just going back and forth. But have you guys been able to talk? Is she like that outside of the ring? Like, does she just seem like she's such a wound up?
She's like really just kind of like laid back. But I can tell you, she has a champion's mindset. You know, she has a very clear vision of what she wants and how and what she wants to do or how she's going to do it. And you know, there's some things that she wants back. You know, any losses that she's had, she wants those back.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt that she is 100% confident in herself. And she gets those, you know, people get that anxiousness before competition, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Your bodies, your mind, body, and soul are getting ready to compete, you know, and only one person gets their hand raised. So, but yeah, she's very laid back and you know, very pleasant. And I mean, of course, people, when they saw her, I remember when she was walking in and there was a patient that was on, and he happened to be an MMA fan. And so he saw her and he was like, holy, you know, so, but she doesn't really come off as that, you know, she doesn't have none of that arrogance or, you know, anything like that. And none of the guys and gals do that come in.
That has been one of the biggest surprises of, you know, I come from a very different background with business. And so doing this whole MMA world has been a blast because I'm mixing two worlds that I love. And when you were talking about the different diagnoses of, you know, cerebral palsy or Down syndrome or that's more of my back. I actually have some clinics myself that does occupational therapy, speech therapy, and physical therapy, but for pediatrics that, you know, have these different, so I was just like, holy crap, multiple worlds colliding here. And I totally lost my train of thought of what I was going to say before that. You know, talking with Rampage or Frank or Tito, when I first started this endeavor, the arrogance or whatever that I would have thought these, you know, high level athletes would have not been the case, at least in the MMA world that I've noticed. A lot of these athletes are humble. They're not like, you know, cause I also spent a lot of time with, say, NBA players. Seems like it's a different culture, you know, oh my gosh, another signature, another picture, you know, get away. The fighters. And so Holly Holm sounds like she's right back in that mold of just kind of like, I don't know what causes that. Like what makes the personalities different?
I think being a fighter, you get your butt kicked a lot and you realize you're not the toughest guy and it's all about respect. And like for me, you know, if I achieved a lot of things in wrestling and boxing, but there's guys kicking my butt every day in the room. And so you just kind of learn that you're not the toughest guy and everybody deserves respect and you don't know what skill set they got. And so I think that's where it comes from.
I can agree. It's gotta be, because I don't know what else would cause such a drastic difference in the MMA elite athletes to some of the other sport elite athletes that I've met, you know, unless it's just some crazy personality thing that anyway, it's gotta be the humbling of getting your butt kicked every day in a gym or something. But I love it. And, I keep wanting to go back to the special needs background that I have. I mean, does that ever seem like something you would circle back to, or is it?
You know, I think that I've been. This is kind of where I was led.
Yeah. You said that. Great point.
And yeah. So I think that this is where God wants me. And you know, there was a time that I had actually back in 2002 before. Or even 3, I thought about going into ministry. I was like, you know what, I'm get out of physical therapy, and I really want to just 100% go into ministry. And then I had a patient that came in, and he said, he was a Phoenix firefighter. I work with a lot of firefighters from all cities, and police officers as well. And so he came back, and my office manager said, "Hey, Al, Court wants to talk to you." And I said, "Okay." So I was in an evaluation. She pulled me out of the room to tell me. He's like, "Oh yeah, he brought pizza, blah blah blah." So I saw him walk by the exam room, and then he walked by again because I had the door open. And then I walked out there finally, and I said, "Hey, Court, how's it going?" He goes, "Hey, Al." And he has Ray-Ban Wayfarers on, and he goes, "Al, I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me." You know, and there's a lot of great conversations that occur because you have to help them through the process mentally and spiritually, because it's tough when you just don't know what the future holds for you. So it was a great experience for him. And he said, and this is what I needed to hear at the time, he said, "Al," he says, "don't ever stop this, because this is your ministry."
Wow.
So I said, "Thank you."
You're like, I needed to hear that right now.
So I don't have to leave physical therapy. This is where I'm supposed to be. And so Eris that's my ministry.
I love it.
Yeah.
Good for you. From here, I don't want to cut too far ahead, because I kind of wanted to ask you, I'm sure the audience would love to know if they're an athlete, maybe not at the top level, that would be able to immediately go to get help like this. If somebody gets injured, what is something they can do themselves, whether it's certain exercises or a diet? Are you, ingredients? I'm always trying to develop more products now going forward that can be something that we do every day anyway, whether an energy drink or cookies that we now. What would be something you would recommend that people could just do to have a healthier lifestyle to recover from injuries that may or may not be as severe, to come get surgery or come get physical therapy? Do you have any suggestions like that? Well,
there's a lot, of course, that's out on the internet. There's a lot on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook, but it's very difficult to give them things to do, because people can watch YouTube, they can watch things on, say, jiu-jitsu, and they may be able to learn things, but you need an instructor, a teacher, a really good teacher / coach who can really take you through the fundamentals of each position and where your focus is, or should be, because we talk about what's correct and why in terms of alignment and functional biomechanics or movement, and then what's incorrect and why. And then we improve their awareness of their position and the quality of their movement pattern. They have to be able to feel these things. If they can't feel it, then it's very difficult. So once they can feel where they are, even if it's not correct, they know it because they can cross-reference that with what they know is correct and incorrect. So if you know what's right, what's wrong, and you can feel where you are, then you can make a difference for yourself. So, but that takes coaching.
Yeah.
So I have to teach them the fundamentals. So once they go through that, it's a different mindset, because a lot of times they go to a physical therapy clinic or a doctor, and they're waiting for something to be done to them instead of their involvement, 100% of their involvement. So, it's just like athletes, you can have the best coaches, but the athlete themselves, like Trey, he's the one that's going to step out into the mat. No one else can step out there for him. And he's the only one that can get his hand raised. So we have to make sure as coaches, as physical therapists, as educators, that we teach them and that we go through the process so they can really understand the impact of the things that we're teaching them, and then demonstrate it on their own and be able to explain it. Then they know it.
And off air, we got talking about some of maybe ambitions that you have outside to go around your expertise, like maybe a podcast. Are you going to be launching your own podcast here pretty soon? Or?
Well, I've been really thinking about this. I think what I'd like to do is be involved with an organization such as F3, where I can really talk about the things that are important to me and what we do at Eris, and even other things in the realm of sports medicine.
I love it.
A mindset, and how you get to the point where you can help people reach elite levels, and so that would be something that I would be interested. I really want to do, and I think it might be in a collaboration with a company such as F3.